Do you know an entire army of 50,000 men marched into the desert, and simply never came out? No survivors. No bodies. No trace at all. And it happened inside the most powerful empire the ancient world had ever seen. This is a story about the largest empire the ancient world had ever known, and one mystery buried inside it that historians still can't fully solve. The Persian Empire, founded by Cyrus the Great around 550 BC, eventually stretched over 3,000 miles, from Egypt to India, making it, at the time, the world's first true superpower. Cyrus himself was a strikingly unusual ruler for his era. Unlike most ancient conquerors, he allowed conquered peoples to keep their own languages, laws, religions, and customs. When he died, likely during a military campaign on the empire's northeastern frontier, he was buried in a tomb at Pasargadae so simple, so restrained, that ancient visitors specifically admired it for its humility, a stark contrast to the towering pyramids of Egypt. His son, Cambyses II, inherited the throne and continued expanding the empire, successfully conquering Egypt in 525 BC. But according to the ancient Greek historian Herodotus, one specific military campaign, launched by Cambyses shortly afterward, would become one of the strangest disappearances in all of ancient history. Cambyses sent an army of 50,000 soldiers marching deep into Egypt's western desert, toward the Siwa Oasis, with orders to destroy a sacred temple whose priests had refused to legitimize his rule. According to Herodotus, the army reached a remote outpost, then continued forward into the open desert. And that's where the trail simply ends. Herodotus described what supposedly happened next in vivid detail: a violent wind rising suddenly from the south, carrying massive, whirling columns of sand, completely burying the army where it stood. 50,000 soldiers, according to this account, vanished in a single catastrophic sandstorm, and were never seen again, by anyone, ever. For centuries, many historians dismissed this story entirely as pure legend, arguing it would have been almost physically impossible for an entire trained army to simply disappear without a single survivor escaping to tell the story. And yet, expedition after expedition, for over 2,000 years, has searched the Egyptian desert specifically looking for evidence that it actually happened. In 2009, Italian archaeologists Angelo and Alfredo Costiglione announced a stunning discovery: bronze weapons, jewelry, and hundreds of human bones scattered across the Sahara. They claimed it was the first physical evidence supporting Herodotus's ancient account. The story made headlines around the world. But the excitement didn't last. Other archaeologists and historians quickly challenged the findings, pointing out there was no definitive proof connecting these remains specifically to Cambyses's lost army, rather than any of the countless other travelers who had died crossing this same brutal desert over thousands of years of history. Then, in 2014, a completely different theory emerged. Dutch archaeologist Olaf Kapper proposed that the army wasn't destroyed by nature at all, but ambushed deliberately by an Egyptian rebel leader named Pechebastus III, and that the embarrassing military defeat was later covered up, blamed conveniently on an act of nature instead of admitting Persian forces had actually been defeated in battle. Even today, historians remain deeply divided: natural disaster, military ambush, or, as some still believe, complete myth invented generations after the fact. What we do know is this: the Persian Empire built the tomb of Cyrus, the ceremonial grandeur of Persepolis, and one of the greatest civilizations the ancient world had ever produced. But somewhere in the Sahara, whether by sandstorm or by sword, 50,000 of its own soldiers vanished completely, and after 2,500 years, the desert still hasn't given up its answer.